Hello viewers, welcome to the video. It's Super GT here and we are going to go through how to deal with idiots part 3. Now I've made a video in Forza 4 and I made one in Forza 5, and this is my how to deal with idiots in Forza 6. It's always going to be a subject that comes up because whenever you play Forza online, we all know that you're always going to experience idiots. It happens in every game and it will always happen and it will never fail to happen. And in this race you're going to see a few instances where I have to deal with them. Also I'll show you at the end a few bonus clips where you can see me deal with idiots on different tracks in different ways. My main tips with dealing with idiots is sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, but sometimes you have to learn to be very sneaky and avoid them in clever ways. In the description below I will link how to deal with idiots video number 1 and video number 2, and those tips that you see in those two videos will also apply to Forza 6, because on the whole any tip is a tip against a Forza idiot and they apply to any of the games. So these tips are kind of universal against these idiots, and it should help you try to avoid, you know, being crashed into. Although Forza 6 is a bit of a crash fest on lap 1, we all know that, and sometimes there is nothing you can do, especially on lap 1 when it's so crowded. There isn't really much there's not really many places you can avoid all these people when there's so many of them in such a confined space. There's not a lot you can do, but when they're on their own in isolated areas you have a much higher chance, especially if you're one-on-one against them, you have a lot higher chance of managing to get away from them. This was actually a good race until a guy in a what was it, a Nissan Skyline, the Fast and Furious Skyline, came along and decided to ruin it. At least not for me, but he ruined it for the guy in second, which meant it was no longer a race because it made it a lot easier for me to win. So the main thing you're going to look out for is anyone who you're going to come up to lap. If you're going to come up to lap someone, always be very wary, because it's a very high chance that they are just there to ram you. They might just be very slow, in which case they might not see you coming and then they might ram you by accident, but there is a higher chance that they are a genuine rammer. They do just want to ruin your race, so you do have to be very careful when you try to overtake these people or overlap them. So you can see I'm going to come up to lap someone here, so I'm going to be very wary of this person. They might just be genuinely slow, so I'm just going to go up the outside of them here, coming up the straight. I'm going to get in their slipstream, but I'm just going to be very wary as I go past them so they don't start turning into me by accident or by intent. And he doesn't actually seem to want to turn into me. And also, when you're braking into the braking points, don't brake in front of them because they will just go into the back of you. Turn to the side and then brake. And here's another potential idiot. He's slowing down, and yes, it looks like he's slowing down a lot, and he's going to try and tip me round, and he completely failed. Now the reason why he failed there is because as he turned into me, I turned away from it and I pressed the brake, which means he can't spin me round, which means it's more likely for him to spin out. So if someone tries to spin you out from the right, turn to the left and then apply your brakes. If they're trying to spin you out from the left, turn to the right and apply your brakes. This is quite a common practice in like high profile drivers, or like police drivers will have to learn these kind of techniques when taking down suspects in vehicles. So they'll have to learn these kind of tricks to get away from them. And some criminals who are, you know, good criminals I suppose, know how to evade the police when they try to ram them out of the way. And here's another potential idiot, so I'm just going to give him a lot more space if I can. And coming into this corner, I just have to be very wary that he isn't within range to just completely ram me. So I have to brake for this corner. There's a chance that he might not brake and just go flying into me. But I thought that I was out of range in that corner, and luckily I was, so he wasn't able to go into the back of me. So my main tips really for avoiding these idiots are you just have to be very wary of what kind of car they're in. Obviously, if you're seeing a Pterodyne Gurkha or a Hummer in the lobby, it's very highly likely that they are there to ram you. And here is another guy who might be ramming me. But I'm far enough ahead here, and it's the last lap. I don't need to actually go past him, and I'm still going to win the race. I'm just going to hold back here, let him go, and cross the line. So I could have overtaken him, and he might have ran me off, and then I might have not have won the race. So that was actually quite a clever decision, just to hold back, let him cross the line. I had enough time there to not bother overtaking him. Yeah, further tips would be, if they do come up to try and ram you, to turn away from the accident, or turn away from them and press the brake pedal as well. And be very wary about staying alongside people for a long time, and going into corners, make sure you're out of range of them if they're just going to not brake at all and try and ram you off. Also, try and look behind as you go into the corner. Make sure you're not directly in front of them, because that means there's a chance they might not brake, and yeah, just go flying straight into the back of you. So bonus clip number 1, let's have a look at this one. It's Watkins Glen coming through the last corner. I'm going to get alongside this Mitsubishi Evo, and he wants to play hardball, so he's just going to ram me into the wall there for no reason at all. And this is the way I dealt with it. I just caught up with him. He's slowing down, and he wants to ram me, so I'm going to ram him instead, and he's off. That's very. He didn't understand the technique of evading the spin. And here's the second clip. So I'm coming around at Lime Park through the second corner. I'm going to go around the outside of this guy, and he's just going to nudge me round. I perhaps could have avoided that, but I think that was mainly his fault. And then later on in the race, look who it is on the last lap of 6. I'm going to come around the outside, get a better momentum, and he wants to play hardball. He's going to ram me off, but luckily I bounced off the wall quite nicely, and he hasn't managed to beat me there. So that's quite a nice little success story for you. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. Remember, in the comment section, let me hear about your stories of all the idiots in the game. There are so many stories to tell, I'm guessing. And subscribe if you want to see plenty more of the same kind of video. Hit the like button if you did like the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.